Hey folks, so we are on the Sons of Attila dev server taking a look at two versions that are being added of the Mi-8 helicopter. We have the Mi-8 TV that's added to the Soviet tech tree. You can see here it's sort of off on the left in rank 5. I was surprised by this, and it's the dev server, it may still change. I kind of expected it to be over here, providing an alternate research path to the KA-29, maybe replacing this branch here with a branch like this. I don't know, but in either case, it's right there in the tech tree. Germany also gets the Mi-28TB, which is here in the tech tree, again, right below the Alouette 2, right below the entry-level helicopter, providing an alternate research path to the Mi-24P. So that's kind of interesting. I think that's going to be kind of an attractive research option for a lot of, German mains to go for. Now, let's actually take a look at the helicopter systems. Not much. Night vision and an 8x optical zoom. So, pretty basic there. In terms of weapons, did it even show it on the X-ray? Yeah, there we go. You've got a low-caliber machine gun in the nose that, realistically, I mean, maybe you can take out some open-topped SPAA that got up-tiered in somebody's lineup or something. But really, that's just going to be for, like, scout tagging and stuff. The loadouts are the major difference between the two helicopters, and they're really not even too different. So as you can see, you've got a huge rack of unguided rockets. Look at this, 192 unguided rockets out of these 6 S5K rocket pods. That's crazy. And you can take up to 4 of the 9M, 17M Falanga missiles. These are the same anti-tank missiles that some entry-level versions of the Mi-24 get. They're not terrible. They're not the best, but they're not terrible. That's a credible anti-tank weapon at the lower tier. The primary shortcoming is the range. It says 4 kilometers on the stat card, but really it's closer to 3. The German one makes a compromise. You can take 6 missiles, but they're the Maliutkas. If you're not familiar with them, these are very low-performance anti-tank missiles. Now, you're looking at the warhead thinking, what's the problem? I'm going to draw your attention to the maximum speed. Now, the firing range is also pretty short. It says 3 kilometers. The effective range is a little lower than that. But they only fly at 140 meters per second. These things slow crawl their way into the targets. So, not especially great. They're tricky to use. However, you still have the ridiculous load of all these unguided rockets, so that's pretty fun. Anyway, I'm going to jump in and show you a couple of things real quick in a test flight before I bring this into a live match. Okay, so we're doing a test flight in the Mi-8. This is the Soviet version, but the German version is going to fly basically identically. The only appreciable difference that I can tell right now is just the weapons load there with the anti-tank missiles. I don't know how well you can tell from the footage, but this is a heavy, chonky helicopter that does not turn well. It's not maneuverable. This thing is a whale. I believe this is going to be the largest helicopter in the game, which doesn't really surprise me. I mean, the Mi-8 is a transport helicopter from the 1960s. A few countries improvised and slapped some weapons onto it to make an impromptu gunship, but, this is a cargo helicopter. Now, we're going to take a look and see, look at this. I'm doing a max effect turn here. I'm using tail rotor and bank, and this is as good as it does to turn around. Now, what I want to show you, I'm going to go into the target reticle here. So, ignore my flight drifting. If you look at this blinking square, this is your zone of fire for the Falanga missiles. So your helicopter has to be pointed in that little square in order to actually fire your weapon. So if I put it out here, you're going to see I've got this square floating out in front of me. You have to be pointed into that square in order to actually fire the missile. So that's a very narrow sort of a field of view to actually fire these things. They're going to be a little difficult to use. Let me just try and dump one off here to kind of demonstrate. Like, see here, you know, I'm going to have to pitch down for a second in order to fire. That's not great. And see there, like, I've drifted, I couldn't take a follow-up shot. So, you know, they're not going to be the easiest weapons to use, but they do pack a relatively okay punch. What I'm kind of excited about are all of these rockets. I love me some unguided rockets on helicopters. I know a lot of people don't like helicopter rocket stuff because it's off meta, but I love this stuff. It's crazy fun. Just going in, doing these rocket passes and stuff like that is a lot of fun for me. And I mean, look at the amount of ammo on this thing. I just did that huge spam rocket pass, and I've still got 94 rockets left. I mean, what is not to love? Oh, I love it. I love it. I mean, this thing is a big, chunky whale in flight, but it's just festooned with weapons here. So I'm really enjoying all these rockets. Actually hitting with them is going to be a challenge, but it's a challenge I'm going to enjoy. Anyway, let's take this out into a match. Alright, so we're out in an Mi-8. All of the battles on the dev server are at 10.3, so there's like actual SPAA on the enemy team. My expectations of actually being able to like get kills and stuff are pretty minimal, but we're still going to try. This is, you know, an enormous target, so even like machine gun fire and stuff is going to be a threat. Maybe the silver lining, maybe, is going to be that so much of the internal space on this is just empty. You know, it might be a case of no armor, best armor. I'm not really sure. But I'm going to see if I can find anything to attack. All right, there was something. Okay, got one. I'm going to call that a moral victory, if nothing else. Is that... Yep. Oh, smack! Yeah, and of course it was a player. People can't just let you have fun and attack bots on the dev server. So that's the Mi-8. It's a bit of a mess. It's big, it's chonky. I think it's going to be goofy to fly, but also a lot of fun. As always, thanks for watching.